I was halfway through explaining my rent situation when my father, Arthur Hale, cut me off mid-sentence. No more money. Starting today. Just like that. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. His face stayed cold, like he had practiced this moment. My younger brother, Caleb Hale, sat beside him, arms crossed, avoiding my eyes. You can't be serious, I said, my voice shaking. My lease, my tuition, you promised. I promised to support you while you acted responsibly, my father snapped. That's over. No warning. No conversation. Just a decision already made. My chest tightened. What did I do? He didn't answer right away. That silence felt louder than anything. You've been wasting time, he said finally. You need to learn what real life looks like. It didn't make sense. I worked. I studied. I stayed out of trouble. Then Caleb spoke quietly. Dad's right. You've been careless. I stared at him. Careless? About what? He didn't respond. That's when I realized this wasn't sudden. They had already talked about this. Without me. I stood up slowly. So that's it? You just cut me off. My father nodded once. Final. And just before I walked out, he added something that didn't sit right. You'll thank me for this someday. I didn't know it yet, but that was the first lie. As I reached the door, I noticed a sealed envelope on the table with my name on it, and Caleb quickly slid it out of sight. I couldn't stop thinking about that envelope. The way Caleb moved, fast, nervous, it wasn't normal. That wasn't just some random paper. The next morning I went back. I told myself I forgot something. Truth was, I needed answers. The house felt different. Too quiet. I found Caleb in the kitchen. Where's Dad? I asked. Out, he said, barely looking at me. I leaned against the counter. That envelope yesterday. What was it? His jaw tightened. Nothing important. Then why hide it? He stayed silent. That told me everything. Caleb, I said slowly, what aren't you telling me? He finally looked at me, and there was something there. Guilt. But also fear. You should just let it go, he muttered. Let what go? My entire life just got flipped overnight. His voice dropped. You don't understand what Dad's dealing with. That stopped me. What does that mean? He hesitated, then shook his head. It's not my place. That was new. My father had never had secrets from us. Never. I stepped closer. Did I do something? Is this about money? Is he in trouble? Caleb swallowed hard, but before he could answer, the front door opened. Our father walked in, and the look he gave us told me one thing instantly. We weren't supposed to be talking. As my father's eyes moved between us, he said one sentence that made my stomach drop. Did you tell him? The room went still. Caleb shook his head quickly. No. My father kept staring at him, then slowly turned to me. Tell me what? I asked. Neither of them answered. That silence again. Heavy. Controlled. It felt planned. I'm not a kid, I said. If something's going on, I deserve to know. My father exhaled slowly, like he was choosing his words carefully. This isn't about you, he said. That hit harder than anything else. You just cut me off yesterday, I snapped. How is that not about me? It's necessary, he said. Necessary for what? He didn't answer. Instead, he walked past me and sat down like the conversation was over. Just like that. I looked at Caleb. You seriously won't say anything? His voice was quiet. You need to trust Dad. Trust? After this? Something wasn't right. I could feel it. Not just unfair, wrong. I left again, but this time it wasn't confusion. It was suspicion. Because for the first time in my life, I realized my father might be hiding something big. Something he didn't want me anywhere near. That night, while going through my old documents for rent papers, I found something I had never noticed before. A letter addressed to me from years ago, labeled, Trust Account Notification. My hands shook as I opened the letter. It was dated 6 years ago. I would have been 19. Why had I never seen this? The document mentioned a trust fund created in my name. Not by my father, but by my late grandfather, Richard Hale. My heart started racing. There were legal terms I didn't fully understand, but one line stood out. Full access granted upon maturity, pending trustee approval. Trustee. I read it again. And there it was. The trustee listed was Arthur Hale. My father. I felt sick. He had control over it this entire time? Then why cut me off? Boss. This wasn't about teaching me a lesson. This was about control. I grabbed my phone and called Caleb. He picked up after a long pause. There's a trust, I said immediately. Why didn't anyone tell me? Silence. Then a quiet, tense response. You weren't supposed to find that yet? My chest tightened. What do you mean yet? He hesitated, then said something that changed everything. Because Dad doesn't think you should have it. I froze. Why? I asked. Caleb whispered. Because if you get it, everything changes. Everything changes. Those words kept repeating in my head. I pushed harder. What changes, Caleb? You need to drop this, he said. No. Not anymore. My voice was steady now. If there's money that belongs to me and Dad is hiding it, I deserve to know why. He exhaled sharply. It's not that simple. It is to me. Another silence. Then finally, he's trying to protect the family. That made no sense. By cutting me off? By controlling what happens next, Caleb said. That word again. Control. Control from what? I demanded. But Caleb had already said too much. I shouldn't have answered, he muttered. Just be careful. The line went dead. Be careful? From my own father? That night, I couldn't sleep. Because now I wasn't just hurt. I was starting to feel something else. Betrayed. And the worst part? I had no idea how deep it went. The next morning, I checked the letter again, and noticed a second page I had missed. A clause that mentioned a conditional distribution delay due to financial risk. Signed by my father. I stared at the signature. It was recent. Not 6 years old. Recent. My father had updated something. Changed something. Without telling me. The clause didn't make sense either. Financial risk? Whose risk? My risk. I took pictures of everything. If this turned into something bigger, I needed proof. For the first time, I wasn't just reacting emotionally. I was thinking. Carefully. Because whatever was happening, it wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. And that meant one thing. There was something to uncover. Something my father didn't want exposed. That same day, I received a message from an unknown number. If you're looking into the trust, we need to talk. I stared at the message for a long time. It felt wrong, but also necessary. I replied, "Who is this?" The response came instantly. "Someone your father hoped you'd never contact." My stomach tightened. We agreed to meet. Public place. Data. I wasn't stupid. When I arrived, I saw a man in his late 50s. Professional. He introduced himself. Martin Doyle. I used to work with your grandfather. Used to. Why contact me? I asked. He leaned forward. Because your father isn't managing that trust honestly. Everything inside me went still. I knew it, I said quietly. Martin nodded. There are irregularities. That word hit hard. What kind? He hesitated. The kind that could cost him everything. Before I could ask more, he added one final sentence. But if you move too fast, he'll shut everything down. I walked away from that meeting different. This wasn't just family drama anymore. This was strategy. My father wasn't just strict. He was hiding something serious. And now someone else knew it too. That made me dangerous. But also vulnerable. I called Caleb again. This time, I didn't ask questions. I made a statement. I know about the trust. Silence. I also know Dad changed something recently. His breathing changed. You need to stop, he said quickly. No. You don't understand what he'll do. That stopped me. What do you mean? Caleb's voice dropped. If he thinks you're digging, he'll cut you out completely. I laughed bitterly. He already did. No, Caleb said. You have no idea how much worse it can get. That night, I checked my bank account and realized my father hadn't just cut me off. He had frozen access to a shared emergency fund I didn't even know he controlled. I felt it immediately. That wasn't just control. That was punishment. Every move I made now felt watched. Calculated. Like he was waiting for me to break. To come back and beg. But I didn't. Instead, I called Martin again. I need to understand everything, I said. He agreed. But this time, his tone was serious. There's something you need to prepare for. What? He paused. Your father might not just be delaying your trust. He may have already used part of it. Everything went silent. That's illegal, I said. Yes, Martin replied. It is. And then he added, but proving it is where this gets complicated. I spent the next days going through everything. Emails. Old files. Messages. Anything. Patterns started showing. Transfers. Dates. Things that didn't match. It wasn't clear yet, but it wasn't clean. I confronted Caleb again. This time, he looked exhausted. How long have you known? I asked. He didn't answer right away. Long enough, he said finally. That hurt more than anything. You let this happen? His voice cracked. I didn't know how to stop it. That was the first time I saw him break. But it didn't change the truth. He had chosen a side. And it wasn't mine. Before I left, he said one thing quietly. Dad isn't the only one involved. That changed everything. If not him, then who? I asked. Caleb hesitated. Then shook his head. I can't say. Or you won't. He didn't answer. That was enough. This was bigger. More complicated. More dangerous. I went back to Martin. I need names, I said. He looked at me carefully. You're stepping into something serious. I already am. He nodded slowly. There are external accounts, and someone helped authorize them. Who? He hesitated. Then finally, someone your father trusts completely. And the name he gave me next was someone I never expected. The name hit me hard. It wasn't a stranger. It was my father's longtime financial advisor. Someone I had met. Someone who had smiled in my face. You're sure? I asked. Martin nodded. There's a pattern. That meant this wasn't emotional anymore. It was structured. Planned. I felt anger rise, but I held it back. Because this wasn't the moment to explode. This was the moment to prepare. For the first time, I felt something shift. Not just pain. Power. Because now, I wasn't guessing anymore. I was building a case. That night, my father called me for the first time since everything started. And his first words were, we need to talk. Now. I almost didn't answer. But I did. His voice was calm. Too calm. I think you've been asking questions, he said. I didn't deny it. Good, he continued. Then you understand why I did what I did. No, I said. I understand you're hiding something. The pause. You're not ready for the truth. That line made my decision clear. I'm ready for everything, I said. Another silence. Then he said something that chilled me. If you continue this, you won't just lose the money. You'll lose this family. The threat was clear. But so was my answer. Then maybe it was never real to begin with. I hung up. For the first time, I wasn't afraid. Minutes later, I received an official-looking email. A legal notice. From my father's lawyer. The email looked official. Cold. Precise. Cease and desist all inquiries regarding the Hale family trust. My hands tightened around my phone. My father didn't call to explain. He sent a lawyer. That told me everything. I called Martin immediately. He's trying to scare you, he said calmly. It's working, I admitted. That's the point. But listen carefully, you haven't done anything wrong. That mattered. Because I wasn't trying to destroy my father. I just wanted the truth. But now it felt like a fight. Why go this far? I asked. Martin paused. Because if this comes out, he loses control. Control again. Everything came back to that. I thought about backing off. Walking away. But then I remembered that moment at the table. The way he cut me off like I didn't matter. No warning. No respect. That wasn't protection. That was power. And I couldn't ignore it anymore. I'm not stopping, I said. Good, Martin replied. Then we do this the right way. The next morning I received something unexpected. A message from Caleb. Dad's meeting the advisor tonight. If you want proof, this is your chance. I didn't want to spy. This wasn't who I was. But I also knew something important. If I didn't act now, I might lose the truth forever. So I went. The meeting was at a quiet office building. I stayed outside, waiting, watching. After an hour, they came out. My father and the advisor. I recorded everything I could. Their voices were low, but tense. Then I heard it. We can't move more funds without raising questions. Funds. My chest tightened. This wasn't a mistake. It was ongoing. Planned. Then my father said something that hit even harder. He won't push this far. He doesn't have the spine. That moment changed something inside me. He didn't just underestimate me. He believed I would stay quiet. He was wrong. As they walked away, the advisor said one final thing. If your son finds out the full amount, you're finished. Finished. That word stayed with me. I called Martin again. How much? I asked. He hesitated. You need to be prepared. I am. A long pause. It's not small. It's most of it. My stomach dropped. Most? You're saying he used almost everything? Yes. I sat in silence. This wasn't control anymore. This was betrayal on a different level. But why? I asked. Martin answered quietly. Bad investments. And fear. That made sense. Not as an excuse, but as a reason. My father wasn't just controlling. He was desperate. And desperate people make dangerous decisions. He chose to hide it. He chose to cut me off instead of telling the truth. That was on him. Martin then added, there's enough here to take legal action, if you're ready to go that far. I never wanted to take legal action against my own father. But he forced me here. Not in one moment, but over years of silence, control, and now lies. I thought about walking away again. But this wasn't just about money. It was about respect. Accountability. If I don't do this, I told Martin, he'll keep doing it. Martin nodded. Then we proceed carefully. That word mattered. Carefully. Because I wasn't trying to destroy him. I was trying to stop him. There's a difference. We started gathering everything. Documents. Records. Evidence. And for the first time, I felt something new. Not fear. Clarity. Days later, my father showed up unannounced at my apartment. And this time, he didn't look in control. I opened the door slowly. He looked tired. Different. You've gone too far, he said immediately. I stayed calm. No. I finally started looking. His jaw tightened. You don't understand what's at stake. I do, I replied. You lied. That hit him. For a moment he didn't speak. Then he said something unexpected. I was going to fix it. Fix it? How? I asked. He didn't answer. Because he couldn't. You took what wasn't yours, I said. I protected this family, he snapped. There it is, I replied. The truth. Not protection. Control. Before leaving, he said one final thing. If you do this, there's no going back. I didn't sleep that night. Because now it was real. This wasn't just tension. It was a line. Family or truth. But then I realized something important. He made that choice first. Not me. When he lied. When he hid the trust. When he cut me off. So I moved forward. We filed. Not publicly yet. But officially. That step mattered. Because now, this wasn't just a family issue. It was legal. And once things go legal, they don't stay hidden. 2 days later, Caleb showed up at my door, looking shaken, and said, there's something you don't know yet. What now? I asked. Caleb looked like he hadn't slept. There's more, he said. There's always more. He hesitated. Then finally, he used my name too. That stopped me. What? For some transactions, Caleb admitted. I didn't understand it at first, but I signed things. My chest tightened. That explained everything. Why Caleb stayed quiet. Why he defended him. He wasn't just involved. He was trapped. You need to tell the truth, I said. I know, he whispered. Then he added, if this comes out, Dad won't be the only one who falls. This was the hardest moment. Because now it wasn't just about my father. It was about my brother too. But I knew something clearly. Truth doesn't pick sides. If we hide this, I told Caleb, it never stops. He nodded slowly. You're right. That was the first time he stood with me. Not against me. With me. We adjusted everything. Included everything. No more secrets. Because real closure doesn't come from half-truths. It comes from full honesty. Even when it hurts. The case moved forward. And the first official hearing date was set. The room felt heavy. My father sat across from me. No anger this time. Just tension. The evidence spoke for itself. Transfers. Signatures. Changes to the trust. He couldn't deny it anymore. So he didn't. Instead, he said quietly, I didn't think it would go this far. That was the problem. He never thought I would stand up. He never thought I would push back. But I did. And now, the truth wasn't hidden anymore. The final ruling wasn't immediate. But one thing was clear. His control was already gone. It didn't happen all at once. But it happened. His reputation. Gone. His authority. Gone. His control over the trust. Removed. Everything he tried to protect. Slipped away. Not because I attacked him. But because the truth caught up. That's how it works. Boys. Caleb faced consequences too. But he told the truth. And that mattered. And for the first time in years, I received something I never thought I would. Full access. I thought it would feel amazing. And it did. But not in the way I expected. It wasn't about money. It was about peace. About finally knowing the truth. About standing up for myself. I didn't celebrate loudly. I just sat quietly. And breathed. Because I earned this. Not by fighting dirty. But by staying steady. That matters. But there was still one final conversation left. With my father. We met one last time. No lawyers. No tension. Just honesty. I was afraid, he admitted. That was it. Fear made him lie. Control. Hide. Break trust. And in the end, it cost him everything. I didn't yell. I didn't attack. Just said, you should have trusted me. Because that's the real lesson. Not about money. Not about revenge. But about truth. If you lie to control people, you lose them. If you face the truth, you grow. I walked away that day with everything I needed. Not just financially, but emotionally. And if you're watching this, remember this. Stand up for yourself even when it's hard. Truth always comes out, always. And the people who underestimate you are the ones who regret it the most. If this story hit you, you already know. Some betrayals don't break you. They reveal you. Sometimes, losing everything is the only way someone learns what actually mattered.